Let me just go on and let's get started. But let me just check. Uh, Sometimes LinkedIn, yes. So I don't know why I'm not getting this. Manage stream, live studio, manage tutorial. No, getting started. I am actually on a right path. Yeah, yes. So, okay. So, thank you so much for. I'm so excited. Yes, let me just go on. Let's get started. Thank you so much for joining live with me on day 15 of LinkedIn Live. Today, we are going to go on and talk about vibe coding and how to be. What is vibe coding? What is all those hype around vibe coding? Why are we even putting up so much effort on vibe coding and a lot of other things. So now let's go on. Let's get started, and I'm very happy to have all of you over here. Thank you so much for joining from different part of the world. Some of you has been joining from California. Some of you has been joining from US, multiple states. You guys have been joining from UAE, India. Thank you so much for joining. Now let's go on and talk a lot more about what is vibe coding and what is all this vibe is around. Correct. Now let me just go on and talk to you about how I started my career. So when we were learning, I want to go on and I want to be very honest with you. We started with uh, NSI book, correct, where we will be learning a lot more syntax. I was not at all good, by the way, when I started. And then after that, we moved to C++, plus plus, even though I did not like that as well too much. Uh, Fast forward academics, we started learning SPSS. It was just a click and build regression, logistic, moving average, all those models. Moving average, not a model though. All those statistical models. Then I started working, and then I got introduced with R programming. And R was very easy. You have to go on, you have to upload or import a library, and then done. And then after a few years, I got introduced to Python. Now Python is more like when I started. Uh, One of the things was it's easy and it's very similar to English, but not English. So for an example, a lot of syntax were very easily driven. So try to understand whenever we are, what is a pattern you have recognized? The pattern you've recognized is we started with C, and actually Python is actually the interpreter and the backend language was C, and it is. Now what is it? So we understood that programming has evolved over the years. Programming has been as simplified as possible. Try to understand, if you want to go on and understand programming, you need to understand how your brain works. So your brain is actually go on and work on a different dimension. So for an example, I want to raise this hand. Now it's not like I have to raise this hand, then there's something in my brain click and then it raise. No, the neurons has been, before I raise a hand, neurons in my brain has been already connected with each other and then give the instruction that Sufi has to raise the hand. The same way, when we used to learn programming, all those syntax, all those functions, all those modules, I would say, that needs to connect with each other to perform a certain task. Now to learn those modules, you need to go on and learn those syntax. To go on and to learn those syntax, or to learn those modules, you have to go on and learn those functions, and from there you have to go on and learn those syntax. Now as you go on and write it down syntax, what do you learn? You need compiler, you need to decode a lot of things, you get error, lot of things. To keep that in mind, people keep enhancing the programming language. And from there to NZIC, there are a lot of programming languages. I'm specifically talking about AI and machine learning because I am the professional who can talk about it. I cannot go on and talk about software development and a lot of other web development domains. So coding has been simplified, and now it has simplified in a way where you just need to go on, take out your phone and talk, I want to build this app. This is my idea. Can we go on and can we do that? And boom, the LLM will transcript your language into into English or whichever language you're speaking, connect with the LLMs and give you the recommended output. How does that happen? Because LLMs has the probably huge corpus of data which already knew that what you're talking about, and it just translate, mimic, go to that particular path, tell this guy is looking out for this kind of code, pick that, now go on and give that particular code for you in a customized fashion. Now, Sufi, can you please simplify for a non-tech learner? Hi, myself Sufi. I am a founder of pandasacademy.ai. I have been a mentor and a data coach. I teach AI, I teach data, and moreover, I help the people to get started with their dream AI journey. I mentor, by the way, a lot more. Now, when we go back and when we start understanding about vibe coding, one of the thing is it's a plain English. You go on, give the idea or a form to an LLM. The LLM will go on and write a code for you and give back, write a specific code for you and give the code in the output. The good use cases of Lovable, the very Replit, and a lot of others. I cannot go on and mention all. But one thing is, when I'm working on a project where I think how 20, 30 analysts, data analyst, data scientist, machine learning engineers, all those individuals will go on and see or do. I see a world where humans will be judged on the basis of their judgment and the impact they have created. For the rest of the other things, you do have LLMs, you do have AI to work around. So, for an example, do you think now I do get this particular comment or talk during my mentoring sessions that, Sufi, do you think that does that mean uh, development is no more? People are not going to go on and talk a lot more about developments, or the developers are probably, if LLMs can go on and write it down a code, then developers are no more relevant. I'm like, no, come on, you guys are much more relevant now than anyone else. I'm like, how? So I work in a framework of why, what, and how. I don't talk about the frameworks quite heavily, but when I go on and when you want to go on and teach probably 200 learners in a Zoom call, you cannot go unprepared, even though you have around 6 years of digital experience and overall a decade of experience in a AI industry. You have to go prepared, and when you have to go prepared, you have to think a lot more about mental models, you have to think a lot more about frameworks, correct? That how can you go on and interact with the audience of 200 individuals or 100 individuals on a Zoom call and go on and talk a lot more around it. So, one of the things which is really important, which I do, is I try to create my own frameworks and I talk a lot more about why, what, and how. Now, in that particular way, one of the things which I got is when you go on and when you write it down, how does the like a particular code, I always used to go on and talk that or teach that concepts are very important. Now, if you want to go on and learn the concept in today's age, and I think in today's age, concepts is much more relevant than anyone else, anywhere else. What does that mean? Means that if someone is coming and building a particular app, they know only 80%. Like LLM can go on, write a code, they can go on and they can debug without error. But the 20% of the part is still with the developers. They are the most important and most leveraged humans on earth today, because they know how to connect, they know how to transform the data, they know how to get it live, and the most important thing, they know how to secure. So now in a world where we are living, the average is no more going to be there. Everyone requires the best, and there will be probably thousands of applications which we will be going in, which will be live on Play Stores on or app stores, but only one or two will get succeed, because the individuals who actually knows how to communicate the business and how to solve a real pain point. So the vibe coding is where individuals can go and more over it can build something from scratch. If now the term tech or non-tech is not going to be there, everyone is come under the one umbrella of you, either you use AI or you do not use AI. If you are going to go on and use AI and use vibe coding to build something, that's as simple as that. Now, how can you go on and how can you use that in your job search? Try to understand the errors. So, for an example, if you are learning the concept and that concept will translate into a particular code, correct? I think that is something which is really important. And now, from there, how can you go on and probably how can you just Huh. So when you translate your learnings, how can you go on and implement those particular things in a much better way? So this is something which is really important, and this is what vibe coding is. We will meet next week again to talk a lot more around the vibe coding. See you in the next video.